Alright guys, I realised I didn't actually have a video planned for today. I had nothing ready, so I thought I'm going to do something quite quick, quite simple. I'm going to make a video explaining the difference between parkour and freerunning as detailed as I can so that everyone kind of gets it, because I know a lot of people don't, so here we go. So what we Americans and other people like that call parkour originated in France as les parcours with a C. Got probably a silent S as well now in the French, so les parcours. And it basically translates into movement, travelling. The idea of what parkour is about have a route and how you're going to get from A to B as fast and efficiently as possible without wasting energy, without slowing down. Any obstacles in your way, are you going to go all the way around them, or can you get through them? Can you get over them in a really effective way? So parkour focuses more on things like vaults. It does include the flips, but you know, a static backflip wouldn't be parkour because it's not going to help you get from A to B faster and effectively, whereas sometimes a flip can actually really help you because you can roll out of the flip and the momentum you get out of that roll keeps you going. And in terms of what it is, you know, it's exercise, it's sport. Doing the flip is more beneficial than kind of just jumping off a bench. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a weird concept to think about flips in travelling, but the main idea of parkour is combinations, you know, flow like water. Whereas free running, you've got less emphasis on the idea of moving from A to B. It's more about who are you, what are your limits, what can you do, all these tricks, all the kind of baranis, corkscrews, gainers, things like that. You know, they're kind of more free running. That's like, you know, prove that there are no limits for you, show what you can really do. People say like parkour can kind of translate into the mindset of life as well, of anything that stands in my way, how am I going to get over it, how am I going to combat that, can I just scoot around it, do I have to go straight through it, I don't want to turn and go back the way I came because that's not energy efficient. Whereas free running's more, you know, like I said, what are your limits, what can you do as human beings, what are we capable of? So there's a lot of philosophy behind both. They're not just kind of sports, and you do kind of feel as you start to be a practitioner of one or the other, you start to follow the mindsets of the original creators and followers of the, you know, when it was just a hobby before it became a thing, because now it's more than a hobby and a sport. A lot of people it is a way of life and it is a way of thinking. You know, my head's always in parkour mode now. Like, life throws something at me, I'm like, okay, how am I gonna get through it? Because, you know, my name's Beatbox PK, it's not Beatbox FR. You know, the PK stands for parkour. I do more parkour than free running, partly because I think parkour is something that is more self-taught. You know, you can, everything I've learned, I've pretty much taught myself, and I've done it through going out, getting hurt. Let's not do that again. Let's try something different. Whereas free running, I kind of feel like you've got to be, parkour you don't have to be as physically fit, whereas free running you kind of do. Free running you've got to be, you know, consistent, normally used to the gym when you want to get up there with the kind of corkscrews, gainers, anything like that. Kind of links into tumbling almost and gymnastics, whereas parkour, it's vaults, it's jumps. It starts off, you know, if you can leapfrog, that's a parkour vault. If you can kind of, you know, I've done a few tutorial videos, things like monkeys, thieves, lazies. I think the weird thing with parkour is when you get into it, you forget, like, the people don't understand the terms that you're saying. I would naturally say, you know, J-step, thief over the fence, and everyone's like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, well, a J-step, and then you do a thief. A thief's a type of vault, a J-step's a type of run-up. We talk about 2 foot to 2 foot, same as kind of what is said about in gymnastics, you know, different types of getting over obstacles and different types of jumps. Like when you start learning how to monkey, you do 2 foot to 2 foot, but then as you get better, you realise it's more effective to take off from 1 foot and land on the other, you know, and keep the momentum going. So yeah, the parkour, the kind of brain is really going when you're doing parkour, because you really have to think it through. And there's kind of two sides to parkour, because there's the video side, which, you know, you try and make it a little bit more flash than what you would do when you're training. But when you're training, when you're just doing parkour training, when you're with some guys, it's really intense. Like, it's really like, who can do this the fastest, and sometimes you get a bit sloppy and you just kind of just jump over everything, but you need to think, okay, no, think about volts, because less energy would go into like a speed vault, staying low to the floor, than it would be to run and jump all the way over the bench. You know, stay low, keep your speed up. So, and then you get up to a slightly higher fence, you want to maybe pull up into a flip vault, because that'll be less effort than trying to pull your whole body over it. It's just roll your body over it, things like that. So parkour is kind of that. Whereas free running, you wouldn't really see vaults that don't lead to a flip. It's like, here is just a picnic bench, but what can I make it become? You know, you could make it the takeoff to this amazing trick set, and then you can go up to like a normal mesh fence. I don't know, any kind of fencing around a basketball court. I don't know. How can you get up and over that? What can you then do in that court? That's suddenly not a basketball court. That's temporarily your stage to show. So a lot of people do kind of say free running's a bit of showing off, really, because it's very much how many tricks can you do, how effortless can you make it look. Whereas free running is like, we need to get away from the police, so let's do this. Or you know, any kind of thing you need to get away from. I don't know why I use police as an example. That's not good for the reputation. You know, you need to travel somewhere. How fast can you do it? See, I prefer parkour. I think it's more fun, just because there's a lot of limits to free running. Like I said, if you're not enrolled in a gym, and I think having to go to that constant session, building up to learning how to do a flip, I'm just like, nah, stick to parkour. As long as you can do like a basic front flip like me, and you know, I can kind of do a side flip, but I haven't done one in ages, so maybe I should go and do one in a minute. And just kind of go out and have a look. It's like, oh, you know, I can see something in the distance, but there's this, and this in the way. Watch how fast I get to it, but I'll make sure I do a different vault every time. Go, and it's like your brain is then just going at it. Like, okay, think about this bench can be a speed. Next one could be a lazy. It might do a 360. Could do a rocket. It could do a vert. There's, you know, endless list of vaults you could do. So that's the difference between parkour and free running. I hope you learned something. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a little comment. To follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Vine. Subscribe. Share this video to anyone that might be interested. And I'll see you in the next one. Alright, ladies, haters. Mwah.